Lindsay. As some of you may have already known, I am an English teacher. Well, as a native speaker of Mandarin Chinese, I know there are a lot of people complaining about the difficulty of learning English. And indeed, English is a crazy language. We have ship by truck, but cargo by ship. We have noses that run, but feet that smell. And the writer's right, hammers definitely don't ham. You fill in a form, but filling it out, and your alarm goes off by going on. What a crazy language. With that being said, you might think of learning English as mission impossible. Well, many people may have certain ideas about learning English that may be preventing them from making progress or even taking up English at all. But learning English really requires time and practice. Today, I'll be showing you the 3 biggest myths that people may have when learning a language, and I'll also provide some ways to dispel the myths. The first myth is that you may think some people are naturally talented and they're naturally better at learning a language than other people do. A lot of people seem to have this idea that some people are born with some kind of language genes or they're just naturally gifted. Well, the reality is, successful language learners have simply committed to learning languages and they have explored a lot of different strategies. Language learning really is about commitment. It's about setting goals that are specific and ambitious. Make sure you're not afraid of failure because failure is inevitably part of language learning. So my tip for you is forget the idea that some people are naturally talented. I am sure each of you already have a lot of talent and strength when it comes to language learning, even if you haven't started yet. Myth number 2, you have to go abroad to learn a foreign language. A good many people think going abroad is a thing that you definitely have to do in order to learn a foreign language well. The reason I call it a myth is because I have personally learned English quite well without going abroad for more than 60 days. And I've seen lots of success with other people learning languages without ever going to the country whose language they're learning. The reason why people think living abroad necessary is there's a certain degree of inevitability. Speaking a language you're learning becomes inevitable in a foreign country. If you want to go shopping, if you want to read a newspaper, watch TV, or just meet people, you have to use the language you're learning. The tip I will give you to bury the myth, if you haven't got the opportunity to go abroad, is that you should create a sense of inevitability at home. Schedule a conversation on Skype or italki. You can also find people on language forums or on Facebook. Do a language exchange and make sure you have it scheduled at least once a week. That is going to create a situation of inevitability. Myth number 3, learning a language takes years. This is an idea that I hear a lot. People tend to think that if you want to get fluent, you need to learn a language for 10 years or several years. That's why it's difficult for them to take it up, because they might think learning a language as something similar to running a marathon. You know, how long is it going to train you to run a marathon? But not everyone who is into running would have to run a marathon. So what I would recommend, if that's a myth, is think about language learning as a journey. It is a journey even for those of you who think you are advanced in foreign languages. Even if you think about your native language, you're not 100% fluent in it because there are still new ways of expressing yourself that you haven't explored yet. Learning a foreign language a little bit like that. Think about next month, the first step of that journey. You know, it takes a month to learn a specific amount of language, and 1 month of language learning is progress. So forget the idea that learning a language is an odyssey. It is an odyssey only when you don't take the first step. So if any of you who's watching this video ever become intimidated or frustrated when learning English, it's time that you got rid of the false ideas and start planning your learning schedule now. This is Lindsey from Lindsey's Classroom, and I'll catch you up next time. See ya!